we're trying to get this out of the way right now. Yeah, I guess you didn't really need that explanation, but here I am. Anyways, we're going to be talking about something I've already talked about once, about, like last month, I think. And that is a YouTuber, TikTok creator, VR chat user called Hypnotist Sappho or Valerie. Several people have talked about this already. It's all over TikTok. Many YouTube videos are out there discussing it, as well as my own. If you'd like to watch my original video, it'll be linked down in the description. Hypnotist Sappho recently came back to YouTube to make a large announcement, and I felt as if it would be appropriate for me to talk about it, since some people don't understand the severity of exactly what's happening, plus I have a larger reach, so I felt like it would be just good to talk about. Like, not a lot of people talking about it have a really large reach, so I just feel like it would be good for me to speak about it. Hypnotist Sappho is a self-proclaimed zoo. What is a zoo, you might be asking? Well, it's somebody who is sexually attracted to animals, which, if you're a normal person, you'd understand as to why that is disgusting. It's the whole thing. Hypnotist Sappho made a quote-unquote coming out video of her coming out as one of these people, and, you know, obviously that didn't go over well because most normal people understand that you probably shouldn't have relations with a dog, but I digress. She went on in this video comparing her sexual attraction to animals to the LGBT community and things like that. She thinks that people should be advocating for this because this is just, you know, the same as how people in the 1960s or something didn't like gay people. This is the same thing to her, which is wrong. It's not the same thing. You like to dogs. It's not the same. But anyways, Hypnotist Sappho, like I said, has come back on the internet, and she's made a new video expressing a major announcement. Those are her words, not mine. And essentially, her and several other people in the zoo community, I guess, I don't know if they're a community, are starting a non-profit.
I am very happy and proud to announce that I am the chairman of the first zoo sexual rights organization in the United States and based in North America.
Basically, it sounds like it's just going to be a website that has like high security, so probably just a little bit more of an expensive website that will quote unquote educate people about this sexuality. And of course, Hypnotist Sappho's makes sure to preface that it is not anything sexual on this website, or will not be anything sexual on this website. So that's the level of intelligence we're dealing with. People are making informational websites about how it's okay to be sexually attracted to your pet cat, but you know what, hey, whatever, I guess. I'm trying really hard to not be angry at this, so I have to make really bad jokes. I decided to go over on Kiwi Farms because, I don't know, I guess I hate myself, to look for forum posts about Hypnotist Sappho, because despite Kiwi Farms being full of people who are kind of weird and scary, it is a great place to find compiled information. So I went over there and I looked around, and I found this one person who said a lot of offensive words that I'm gonna try to ignore, post kind of a list of some things that they know Hypnotist Sappho did. Of course, before I get into any of these things, it's all alleged. I am not in the power to prove anything that I'm about to say. This is just stuff that I'm finding on the internet and compiling in a video. So take this with what you will, you know? On VR chat, her approach to finding people is very simple. She would sit in public lobbies, as well as join off of people hanging out with others, then look for vulnerable people to target. She got very sexual very quickly, and a whole two people of the countless people who have shared their experiences with her said she didn't ask their age at any point in their interactions. She would go from person to person, going full deep throat moaning while making kissing noise, which she has tried to pass off as light kissing. She would target people who were interested in her persona, seductive dommy mommy, but were too nervous to introduce themselves to her. Then start love bombing them with feelings they didn't know how to process but wanted more of. Once she had someone, she would convince them to join into her sessions, her hypnotist sessions, I guess, and she'd give them all the affection in the world until she found her next target. People would want more attention, so they would try to get it from her, and she'd give it to them. that's the best kind of target for a few days. She then started weaning them off the attention again until they wanted it so much that they were willing to pay for a private session. So what it sounds like is Hypnotist Sappho is like not only a zoo, but a furry hypnotist, an unlicensed furry hypnotist on VR chat. VR chat in many ways has come off kind of cringe to me, and that's coming from a furry. But I guess there's a whole subsection of VR chat with people trying to hypnotize others. I don't know if that's a normal thing or if Sappho is the only guy doing that, but you know, they try to hypnotize people into, like, I don't know, calming down. It's kind of like meditation, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really look into that aspect of it because it just sounded a little too weird for even me. There's a bunch of other stuff here, of course, that I don't think is necessary to talk about because we already know that this is a terrible person. Among some other things that she did was having underage people in her server, which isn't necessarily a problem if your server isn't inappropriate or NSFW or 18+. But from what I understand, her server turned into an 18+ server, and I think she had maybe one or two, I couldn't tell you exactly, 17-year-old moderators in this server, which, you know, obviously you shouldn't be sharing illicit material with minors. That's just bad. You shouldn't do that. It's illegal. It's gross. Another thing is apparently Hypnotist Sappho only removed her underage users after she got some backlash, so she didn't really even care about moving them until people were like, hey, remove these kids, that's gross. So she's only doing it to save face, which is kind of sussy in itself, in my opinion. Something that is really concerning to me, beyond the zoo non-profit that she's in or part of, but again, allegedly, she is getting really close to children. This one child in particular apparently is 14, I think, and there's like a video with them on TikTok. I don't have the video, I do have screenshots. Now, I know TikTok is sort of notorious for, not super real things. I don't know, but I don't think they would lie in their bio, right? So apparently this 14-year-old was hanging out with Sappho in VR chat, and it just kind of sussy, in my opinion, since Sappho uses this weird voice, this weird melodic voice, because she likes to hypnotize people or whatever. I'm sorry that I did that. It's just a little suspicious. And also there's other screenshots of Sappho, allegedly Sappho. I don't know if these are edited or anything. I doubt they are, or at least one of them. This one in particular, I feel like it wouldn't be edited, but who knows? I don't know. This one reads, "Children are people because laws are unethical. Because inherent harm is a myth, because the state should have no business in people's love. Brain development doesn't play a role in intelligence or ability. You can learn at any age. It's just that the longer you've been in the world, the more you learn. But consent is such a simple concept that the brain development is nil in this scenario. Also, consent is an outdated framework anyways. Unprompted sexual experiences, and other romantic ones at that, are not necessarily bad if both parties enjoy it." Basically, it just sounds like she's trying to justify, like, if you're an adult, some kid can come up to you, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you're just like, hey, it's okay, I consent, despite them being under the legal age, despite being underdeveloped in the brain, despite all of these things. Sappho thinks that it's okay as long as they say that it's okay, and both parties are consenting. So, you know, justifying P-word is a good look. This one, I can't find a better screenshot of this one. All of the screenshots that I'm finding are really small and really glitchy looking, so again, I don't know if it's real. It feels pretty suspicious to me. Sappho allegedly saying, "Yeah, I've groomed a minor once. I don't even care. I groomed them when I was still attracted to humans. I don't really care at all." I don't know if it's real. I really don't. I couldn't tell you, but I felt like it was something I should bring up. Apparently, the reason that Sappho came out about being a zoophile, again, I don't know if I'm reading it right, was because this person made a tweet longer exposing Sappho, and this tweet longer is what created the turn of events, basically, is what kicked down the first domino, was this tweet longer is what made Sappho make her initial video on being attracted to dogs. Also, I'm not going to read it, it's on the screen. It tells you that there was children in the server, that they talked about bestiality and gross things all together, just all around not great stuff. Feral ex-human art, it's just like generally frowned upon things in the furry community, essentially. It's just a lot. Like I said, Sappho only removed the minors from her server after she started getting hate for it, so, it's just a lot. Sappho tries to manipulate people. She clearly is an abusive figure. How can I say that so surely? It's like, honestly, in my eyes, if you're attracted to an animal, or if you're okay with having relations with an animal, I can only see that as some sort of like power-hungry thing. That animal can't do anything to stop you. That animal can't say yes or no. You are in full control of that animal. It's literally a group situation. You teach that animal to be okay with these sort of things. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. It's awful. Imagine you train your dog to do these disgusting things. It's because you're in complete power. These people are power hungry, and it's gross. I really just have no other way of explaining it. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. Is all I can say. I hope this made sense. I know it's a little rushed. Anyways, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you have a great day, and goodbye.
Before we get into it, I would like to thank you guys for over 188,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Subscribing to my channel really helps me be able to make content like this video, so subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Let's get right into it. Hello everybody, it's me, Nani, and unfortunately we're going to be talking about another not so great topic. Yay! Nani, what's the not so great topic about? Well, it's about someone who tried to groom another minor. Yay! I wish I was joking. I wish this wasn't something I had to talk about so often. But here we are, talking about today, Hopeful Lucille. You might not know who Hopeful Lucille is. I don't know how many subscribers they have, because it's hidden, so maybe they have 2, maybe they have 10,000. I have no idea. But yeah, a person that you might know, more likely because they make good content, is Streamline Workshop. They make commentary videos. I've watched them on occasion and I think they're pretty good at it. This is the victim of our, the unfortunate topic of the story. They are the victim in this one. And they made a long video describing everything that went down in their own words, and I think it's really important that you go watch that because it happened to them. So it's really important that you go watch that video. Please subscribe to Streamline. They do make really good content. They're very talented artists, and they're just good at what they do. So you should definitely go ahead and check that video out. I think it deserves to be watched because it's literally coming from the victim themselves. So it's really important that you go over there and you watch that situation. I just think you should do that. It's important. Because this video is more than likely going to be extremely long, I'm gonna just try to get straight into it. Lucille is a person in their 20s. Their gender and pronouns and name have changed a couple times. I'm not exactly sure what they're going by at this very moment, but because their name currently has Lucille in it and they're presenting as a female, it seems, I'm going to refer to them as she and Lucille. So it seems like a common thing that she does is try to blame people for misgendering her, and I just want to put out right now that I am only gendering her from what she is identifying as at the moment, which is a female named Lucille. So that is what I'm going to be saying for the majority of the video. I might switch between she and them, but I just kind of do that in general to everyone in the world. So yeah, Lucille is a person in their 20s who has groomed Streamline, a person who is a minor. That's really all you have to know, except Lucille is trying to, continue to make content and be on the platform in which she groomed the minor. A platform where she can get more minors to groom. And if you know who I am, you know I don't like that. So, yeah, Lucille made, I guess you can call it an apology. It's not, as usual. It never really is an apology with these people. So, Lucille made a response to all the backlash she was getting for grooming the minor, and we're going ahead and gonna pick that apart. I would like to put forth right now that I am 100% going to get angry. I have watched this video 2 times already, and I was fuming both times. Not only because the things that she's saying are dumb and so blatantly manipulative, but they are also, she's treating it like a video game. And that makes me so mad. She acts like the character Nagito from Danganronpa. She literally talks like a video game character. And you know what? That wouldn't bother me if she was like maybe a teenager, but this is an adult woman and it bothers me a whole bunch. It makes me so angry. Anyways, we're gonna go straight into her video. We're probably gonna cut out some things that don't matter. I am possibly going to get very angry, but I'm gonna try to conceal my emotions the best I can in that way. We're just gonna debunk some things that she said, show you how she's being blatantly manipulative, and how she definitely shouldn't have a platform. She's currently trying to dip her toes into the VTuber community, and the VTuber community, just like most communities, is full of minors, and I really, really hope that nobody else is affected by this person. I hope that in some way my video can help. I hope you watch Streamline's video. If anybody else makes a video about it, I hope you watch it. This person definitely shouldn't have a platform, and they 100% should leave the internet right now and go get some help, because they clearly need some sort of help, because it's just not right the way they think. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry for this long intro thing.
Before we start this session, I'd like to address the obvious. My name isn't and never was Sam nor Max. The reason I was called by either of these names was that at first everyone knew me by the character Sam, who was a skeleton. That was a carbon copy of Sans the skeleton, except that he wore a blue wig. Max was a nickname closest to my real name, and as a bonus, it was also unisex. Soon after a while, everyone called me by Sam, and those who knew me a little better would call me Max. I'm not upset with either names because during the time I was called Sam/Max was when I was going through my transitional phase.
So like this really doesn't matter. It's not like part of the conversation, but I would like to point out that she just like already contradicted herself, and if you're contradicting yourself on something as simplistic as your name, I think that says a lot. Right in the beginning, she said her name has never Sam nor Max.
My name isn't and never was Sam nor Max.
And then she said, my name was Sam or Max when I was transitioning.
I'm not upset with either names because during the time I was called Sam/Max was when I was going through my transitional phase.
She said, my name was never Sam or Max, and then like 3 seconds later, she said, my name used to be Sam or Max. Let that sink in.
Most of you should know what I'm referring to, right? I wasn't comfortable with my female-given body and tried to play the role of a male. During this point, I was quote-unquote dating Streamline Workshop, and for the sake of this video, I'll be calling her Iris. Wait, did I air quote just now? So instead of calling me Sam or Max, the possible predator, how about you call me Lucille or Lou instead?
Lucille, the possible predator.
Calling someone by a dead name isn't very polite and, quite frankly, embarrassing. Which brings me to my first argument. Or would it be more of a statement? I'm not exactly arguing with anyone right now. Would this be considered presenting my thoughts on the current topic? Anyway, the continuous suspicions on why I changed my username and profile picture. Sadly, I can't say anything on the matter because if I told you I was planning on changing it before the situation started, you wouldn't believe me, right?
It makes me increasingly angry every single time she says, right? You would believe that, right? You would think that, right? Why are you so condescending? Please, you're trying to manipulate the situation. Like, you're talking down to me. You're talking down to everyone watching you, right? And it really bothers me. Like, every single time she says, right, it fills me with rage. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but it makes me so upset. Like, I am not even joking. The way that she is trying to talk down to people who believe that she's a predator because she did some predatory things is just mind-blowing to me. She is my age. I am an adult woman and I could... Why are you role-playing in your response video? Please stop.
I can only present this to you. I was planning, or at the very least thinking about changing my username on all of my social media accounts to Hopeful Lucille on the 19th. Iris's video came out a day after. But again, take what you will with a cup of salt.
It's a grain of salt. It's a grain of salt, not a cup of salt. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna skip through some things that I don't think matter. What matters is that she tried to groom a minor.
Can you see something wrong with these comments? Should I make it easier for you? Very well. When I met Iris, she was the age of 15, right?
So there's something that Lucille does very often. It shows screenshots. It doesn't read the screenshots. A lot of people don't read screenshots whenever they're presented. Like, you're supposed to pause the video and read them. I know I don't like doing that, so I'm gonna take it upon myself to read them for you. So what does being a child predator feel like? A, they're a predator. They dated a child. So it's just a bunch of comments of people calling her a predator.
Now I'm going to give you terms that I could be classified under. Pedophile, hebephile, and ephebophile.
So I'm just going to stop this right here. I've already watched this part of the video. She's just going to go on and describe several different types of the P word, what they mean. It's just basically each of these words mean, like, one of them means you are attracted to children under the age of, like, 9. One of them means you're attracted to children under the age of 15. They're all the same thing. They're just, like, more, I guess, exact terms that you could use. And then she's going to go on and say that Streamline is the problem because Streamline is attracted to adults.
Teleophile, a person who is sexually attracted to adults. It's only fair that I call Iris a teleophile because she was attracted to an adult.
Do you see what I mean? She's trying to teach everyone a big scary word so that we think that Streamline is a problem. I hate to break it to you, but and now the only people that are going to watch you are people who are gullible enough to allow you to say things like this, like calling Stream a teleo whatever, are children. So now you're surrounded by even more minors, and that's what freaks me the heck out. Definitely, please get off of the internet. I know that sounds rude, I know that sounds mean, but leave. Exit. Please, I will open the door for you. Please exit. Go into some therapy because clearly there's something amiss here. I'm not saying that you should die or just cease existing. I'm saying that please, for the love of the Lord, get yourself some help because there's something wrong here. The fact that you're sitting here not only trying to defend yourself against grooming a minor, but now you're trying to call the minor the issue by calling them this big old fancy word for a person who is attracted to an older person. That's dumb. I can't fathom this. I'm really angry. I'm trying really hard not to be angry, so I probably sound a little bit weird. But what? There's still more to this video. You thought it was okay to put this in a video? You're my age. You're an adult. What?
But I have a feeling that bringing this up won't make the situation any easier, right? Well, I'll let it slide for now. Phew. I think I've said enough Google research. Alright, I never gave you the answer either.
I'll give you the short answer. Lucille groomed a minor. Lucille was attracted to a minor. Whether it be sexually or emotionally, Lucille groomed and manipulated a minor. In the very least, they are a predator. I do not have any, like, therapy background or doctor background to be able to definitively say which file Lucille is, but what they did was wrong, and they're a predator in some way, shape, or form. I can tell you that for a fact.
You're probably wanting me to talk about my side of the story, correct? Unfortunately, it won't be that easy, since you'll most likely have to take everything I say with a pint of salt.
Grain of salt.
But why don't we do the obvious and start from the beginning? From when I first met Iris. I can't give you the approximate date, but we were both introduced to one another by a mutual friend at the time. I didn't think I'd be invited into an online family where I was the one playing the role of dad, meanwhile Iris was playing the role of mom. It wasn't an immediate attraction since I unfortunately knew that she was underage. However, it was her that initiated the crush-like behavior.
It wasn't an immediate attraction, basically admitting that there was an attraction eventually. And then she's going to go on and say that it was the minor's fault for first initially crushing and flirting in the situation. That may be so, but you're the adult, and it's up to you to remove yourself from that situation. There's literally no point in you making this response because you are in the wrong. No matter how you spin it, no matter how many times you say right, and no matter how many weird video game sounds you make during the video. Just saying.
Things slowly began to progress with the both of us. I'm unsure of who confessed their feelings first since that part of me is still hazy. But there is a keynote here. Neither of us officially dated.
But you just said that. You don't know who confessed feelings first, implying that you in fact had feelings for a minor. Doesn't matter if you were dating or not, you had feelings for a minor.
Eventually, Iris told me in a personal environment that she wasn't looking for a relationship and wanted to focus on herself, her school, the whole spiel. I agreed to this. Neither of us were in a relationship from before or then on. But you can't take my word for it now, can you? Think back to what I said before. My account is deleted, right? So take everything I say with a barrel of salt.
Grain of salt.
I like to bring up the times we've physically seen each other. Unfortunately, my physical appearance doesn't look like that of a 22-year-old. I'm shorter than Iris is, and I act young.